Hello and welcome back to another episode of Umineko.
Welcome. This is our first one back in a while.
Yeah, it is. Because my Wi-Fi has been shit. It's been god awful.
And then your parents were on a cruise and you had to sleep in their room
I
to
just
keep the dogs happy.
Yeah, to keep the dogs happy. Otherwise, the house would be burnt down. The dogs cannot sleep unless
I'm
they are
sure they would
sleeping
find a
with
way to
people.
do that.
Alright. When was the last time we recorded? Okay. We recorded last time on July 6th. It's July 23rd for us now. Alright. And we'll see when this video comes out.
Dear.
As a quick little reminder of what has happened, Hideyoshi died. And we got 2 rabbit girls now. There's your little...
Yeah, we do.
There's your little reminder.
Dear, where are you? You're there, right? Answer me.
The crash of a thunderbolt woke Eva from her nightmare. If Hideyoshi had been gripping her hand at the time, her fearful heart would probably have been instantly healed. However, Hideyoshi, who had supposedly sworn that he wouldn't leave even for a moment, was nowhere to be seen in the room.
Dear, answer me. Dear.
It's just you're like pounding at the door and Battler's like, shut up! I'm trying to take a nap! Alright. "30 minutes had already passed since Rudolph's group had left the guest house. By any measure, return was too late, and Kraus and Natsuhi, who waited by the entrance, were reaching the limits of their patience. The chain was set on the door. It was a precaution in the event that Rudolph's group was attacked and the master key stolen from them. For that reason, they needed to wait by the entrance like this for the others to return. They really are too late. You think something might have happened to them?
Indeed.
Kraus glanced between his watch and the door, struggling to keep his composure. If something happened to prevent them from returning...
A terrible thought, but it seems we should ready ourselves for that possibility. So, it really was too reckless after all.
That's what I said. Why did they go outside when they knew it was this dangerous? They're foolish. Go outside even though Rosa-san had just been attacked.
Now, at any rate, there are now 3 adults in the guest house. Me, you, and Ava, who's asleep with a high fever.
And, you know, Ava's adult son. Sure, he could help. Or that's his name. I forgot his name for a bit. At that time, the forceful sound of a door being opened came from the hallway, and they heard Ava's panicked voice. A voice calling out Hideyoshi's name. It seemed as though she'd had a bad dream or something due to her fever, and was calling for her husband. Ava-san, is it? You okay? No! It's just, oh.
Where's my husband? My husband isn't here. Even though he promised that he'd stay with me the whole time. Even though he promised that he'd grasp my hand the whole time.
Kraus was struck dumb by this attitude of hers, which she had never shown in front of him before. But Natsuhi understood her feelings. Kraus just sitting there like, what the fuck? I thought you were an independent woman, what the fuck? Calm down. Hiroshi-san is with Rudo-san and Kirie-san, and they're outside right now.
Outside? Why did he go outside after he promised me that he'd stay with me the whole time? You mustn't go outside. The witch is outside. You mustn't go. You'll all be killed. I put a word in there that wasn't there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyways.
It sounded like... it sounded like you were falling down a hole. But I can only imagine Battler just in, Jesus, there just has to be someone going on about a fucking witch all the time. Maria's dead and now it's Ava? Fuck!
Ava, calm yourself. Hideyoshi-san returned to the mansion with Rudolph and Kirie-san. Why did he have to go to the mansion? Why did he go outside even though it's safe here? Why did he go back to the mansion?
To get food. Why the fuck else?
They went to get enough food to last until tomorrow. Hideyoshi-san was worried about your health and said that was partly why he wanted to go. When will they come back? When will they come back? Don't go outside. Don't go to the rose garden. Don't go to the mansion. The witch is there. The golden witch is walking about. If she finds you, you'll be killed. You'll definitely be killed. When will my husband come back?
They left here 30 minutes ago. We are waiting for their return.
That sprite choice is so funny.
Just hand on her head like, shut up!
Minutes ago? Isn't that strange? But it takes so much time for them to go to the mansion to get food and come back. And why are you two just standing around here? We have to go get them. We have to hurry to where they are. Eek!
Ava probably had quite a nightmare.
I never know how to voice that.
The fucking most obvious statement in this. Yeah, Ava probably had quite a nightmare. Shit, really? And because I continued even after she woke up, she could no longer hide her panic. Natsui tried calming her down, but all it did was make Ava's emotions explode even more. Maybe they heard that disturbance. Bat and the kids, who had supposedly been on the second floor, were peeking their faces through the cracks of the lobby door. What the fuck is going on out there? Kraus, Natsui, and Ava. And Battler, George, and Jessica, and Battler, George, Jessica, and Nanjo. I'm imagining Nanjo's also with the kids. He was like, God damn. Everyone in the guest house had gathered by the entrance and understood the current situation. I agree with Mother. We should go to check on Father and the rest. Yeah, that's right. It's impossible that their load's too heavy and they're having trouble carrying it. We should welcome some extra hands. This happened right after Rosathon was attacked. There may have been a secondary disaster connected to it. We should act with caution here and...
Don't be a fool. You mean caution. Are you saying we should let my husband die, even though he might be begging for help? You know, and
your brother,
also your brother
and sister-in-law,
and you know, and yeah. I'm going to look, and the cowards can stay here.
Oh my god! Fucking agitated, Ava raised her gun. She kept her. They let her keep her gun while she was having a intense fever.
What if she was attacked in her room?
Touche, actually. Judging by her face, it would be useless for anyone to try and stop her. George, who realized at first, raised his head. All goes well. You'll too, right, Mothercoon? Fuck, just dragging me into this. More the better. Sure, I guess. Hey, but we're coming, even if you tell us not to. She's definitely not gonna say don't go. I'm coming too. I can't be the only one to hide in a safe place. Chika, you must not go outside. Stay here with me. Got it? It's like they were implying that those three had already been killed anyway, so going outside would be pointless. Damn. Number two, we realized that Ava felt like her heart had been crushed out, but she spoke out as strongly as Jessica's mother.
You're right. That should be fine. Let's have Nissan's family keep an eye on the guest house. This is a problem from my family and Badler-kun's, and I wonder if Dr. Nanjo will mind coming too.
Fuck, I'm staying here. I'm not getting my ass killed. Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case of what?
In case they need an autopsy.
Nancho's always like, yup, they're dead. Like, it's never like a detailed thing. It's just like, yup, they're dead. Anyway.
He's so bad at autopsies.
To be fair, he's not an autopsy doctor.
I don't care. I like insulting him.
Why?
I hate that guy.
Why do you hate Nanjo? What's wrong with my boy Nanjo?
Sorry, never mind.
Does something happen in the future with Nanjo?
Forget about it. I'm joking.
No! Are you sure?
I'm joking.
If you say so.
I'm so kidding. Don't worry about it.
I'm worrying about it.
You worry about everything.
Yeah. It's called anxiety. The fuck you mean?
Yeah, but I'm specifically talking about stuff in Umineko. In the hall of the mansion, Badler, Eva, George, and Nanjo found the corpses of Rudolph, Kirie, and Hideyoshi.
Alright, and we got the little thingies. Ignore the bunny girl. Wrong one. Next. There we go. I forgot how to use this fucking menu. Alright. Ushiromiya Rudolph died in the hall of the mansion with his forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a steak. What the fuck just fell? Oh. Apparently, they gotta be finished off with the steaks from here on out. Gross.
My computer's freezing.
I'll read it then. Ushiromiya Kirie died in the hall of the mansion, her stomach pierced by a steak-shaped weapon. The stomach isn't a particularly lethal spot. Is it enough to just kill her in some other, easier way and stick a steak in her corpse? Ushiromiya Hideyoshi died in the hall of the mansion, his chest pierced by a steak-shaped weapon. That was careless of me. Didn't think you were still alive. The 4th through 6th twilights? And the corpses were pierced through the forehead, chest, and stomach with those demon stakes.
Yes, the demon stakes were buried into them. One in Rudolph's forehead, one in Hideyoshi's chest, and one in Kirie's stomach. The disorder of the clothing on all three suggests that they were fighting or running away. Since the three corpses were not found right next to each other, it is hypothesized that after coming into contact with the culprit, they attempted some form of resistance.
And they had stakes in the forehead, chest, and stomach. Horrible, just like usual. Even though Ronove knew it would be superfluous. There we go. Superfluous. He contemplated telling Battler the truth. Normally, the witch would have killed them in a much, much more horrible way. The corpses have been left in this manner only because Beato had suggested to the witch that she show restraint. The new witch, thinking they would fit well enough as long as she gouged them with stakes, would probably have just stuck a stake into a lump of meat that wasn't even shaped like a human. Rose's and Maria's corpse were a particularly striking example. If they'd been killed as the Golden Witch had wished, just how gruesome would the corpses have been? Beato had changed that into the still better kind of killing Battler had mentioned earlier. Wanting to have Beato's small bit of thoughtfulness appreciated, he thought of telling Battler about this. But judging by Battler's eyes, that might do more harm than good. To humans, the gap between being alive and dead is very large. Things that should give them better deaths might have made it possible for a demon to understand her feelings and pardon her. But there was no way a human would be so accepting. Understanding this, Ronave remained silent despite knowing of Beato's modest efforts. Just like usual, let's start by checking whether the corpses are dead. Ronave, please declare it in red. Hey, can't you hear me? Please declare it in red. Repeat it. Rudolph, Kiria, and Hideyoshi are dead. My apologies. Allow me to decline from repeating them. Oh fuck, they're alive! The hell? What are you planning all of a sudden? By now, proclaiming that the victims were dead in red was almost a given in this battle. Refusing to do that was almost like losing by default. So when Ronave refused as part of his first move, Valor was dumbfounded. My apologies. As of this moment, I relinquish my position as Milady's representative. Aww. Accordingly, I cannot repeat that in red. The only one qualified to repeat that is Milady.
His point is a valid one. Ronave is only a representative for Beato's side. If he steps down from that position, you will not accept Beato as an opponent. A new representative must be named.
Come on, one of the sisters! No new representative exists. Please, Battler-sama, please accept Milady as your game partner once more. Sorry, but that's advice I can't listen to. I definitely won't accept that unpleasant, cruel bastard as my opponent. My refusal to accept her is why I can't step down from the game.
He keeps a grudge like crazy!
Huh?
Sorry.
What did you say?
Sorry for interrupting. He keeps a grudge like crazy.
What a king! What a king!
Yeah.
As you are being unpleasant, I apologize in Milady's stead. Allow me to pledge that Milady will not undertake such unpleasant actions again. I wonder about that.
Battler-kun, I also want to apologize as that child's teacher. I'll give that child a good talking to, so please offer your forgiveness just this once.
Hey, enough of that. Making it sound like I'm the bad guy. No matter how much you guys apologize, it won't reach my ears. Beto can say that from her own lips. Well, I might listen to her.
Understood. If that is your only condition for acknowledging your opponent again, let us have that child apologize. Ronave, call for that child. Will that be alright, Battler-kun?
Jeez. Whatever you want. Still, don't expect me to forgive her. Look at that irritating witch. You have my thanks, Battler-sama. I tell someone here. Milady, Battler-sama is calling for you. Oh my god, is he really? Just... After a few heartbeats, gold butterflies gathered together in midair and created Beato's form. It was a much more docile appearance than the ones she'd made before.
Did you call, Ronave? I believe you heard. Is there something you have to say from your own lips?
I'm sorry for having sadistic glee at the sight of your family members getting brutally killed over and over again. Good girl. It looked as though Beato shrunk slightly under Battler's cold gaze. Several times, Beato made an effort to get the words out of her mouth, but that didn't work so well. And she was just as awkward as someone trying to light a match during a freezing winter with icy hands. Even as she did that, the game board was advancing. In the hall, they just found the corpses of the new victims and had broken down crying. Dad! Irie-san! Ah! I don't know how to do that.
Dear, dear. Uh,
Mother, hang in there. Even for me, it's so crushing. So sad. God damn. They probably died instantly. Sure that, even if we had arrived immediately after they fell, it would have been too late. It doesn't fucking help!
no, that's wrong. They were definitely alive. His chest was stabbed with something like this. My husband must have died in extreme pain. If we had come faster, surely they would have been saved. They would definitely have been saved.
It must be tough for you too, Butler King. But stay strong. I'm okay. It's okay, Aniki. Just let me cry a little bit longer. I've got it the best. I should be the least sad. So you can let me cry just a little longer, I'll be fine. The fuck you mean you got it the best?
Yeah, what the fuck does he mean by that?
What the fuck do you mean by that, dude? Like, I know he's like being like, I hate my bastard little father, but no, you don't got it the best. Your dad died, your stepmother died, even though she resents you. It's you and your half sister now, homie. That isn't true. I can understand how much it must hurt your heart to have lost both parents. I still have mother. It's much better than what you're going through, Pat Lacoon. No, that's wrong! It's gotta be toughest for you, George Aniki. I understand, Aniki. In this group, you're the saddest. The one who has it toughest? I understand that. I can't keep on sobbing like this. What you say is the toughest for me. To me, your dad and Kitty side were people I eventually split up when I grew up and become independent. Since their parents, it was fated that they die before their kids. It just happened a little early, that's all. But it's different for you, Aniki. You didn't just lose your parents who would part ways with you eventually. You also lost Shan-chan, someone you should have spent the rest of your life with.
This is such a crazy conversation.
I can't value human lives differently. When there's a baby or an old person, they should all be respected the same. But still, the more life that person has ahead of them, the longer the future you're building together is, the sadder the fact of their death is. Aniki, you're engaged to Shannon-chan, right? Ava's sobbing in the corner hearing all of this. You promised that you'd build a life and a home together in the future, right? Compared to how huge that future was, compared to how huge that happiness was, stuff like my pain doesn't even come close. So you should feel that to cry much, much more, Aniki. Yeah, it's because you act like a big brother to us cousins. You force yourself to act like you're so calm. Stop it, Butler-kun. We're just trying to make a calm smile. But already, couldn't stop a single hot tear from leaving a streak down his face. There's no way I wouldn't. You've said, right? brother was sad, and I painted a picture of many futures in my mind and talked of dreams that could all come true even if we lived 100 years. Of those dreams, even the very first one, having her move into my family register cannot be granted. So there's no way I wouldn't be sad, right? I can't I said I have no right to cry anymore. Even you're struggling, Alden, and I have no right to shed any more tears. We're the same. We both feel the same sadness from losing those close to us. So there's no rule that says you can't shed any more tears than me and Battler could. And for me too, there's no rule that says I should hold back my tears any longer, is there? Anarchy, yeah! Shannon, the one who said my dream of the future is dead. Father's dead too. It's so sad. So sad. Ah! Tyler and George hugged each other tightly. Punched each other tightly. They cried a waterfall of tears over each other's shoulders for the people who had been so precious to them. Did you like that? How do you like that vocal?
Are you okay?
Yeah, really. Oh God. How do you like that vocal performance from me?
That was awesome. That was just a crazy scene.
Oh fuck. Do you understand why I said that George Aniki has the toughest?
I was listening, so I understand. Your sadness is proportional to the length of time you would have been able to spend with that person afterwards.
Oh, you hear this music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this sucks. Of course, you can't calculate just like that, though. We humans aren't like you witches. From the time we receive life to the moment we die, we live within that time-limited period as strongly as we can manage. I can't forgive anyone who makes light of that. And I definitely can't forgive anyone who sneers at people and toys with them. A person like you, whose very concept of death is all screwed up, probably can't understand that. I'm not just mad because of the length of time they would have lived afterward. It's sneering at the lives of people living with all they've got. That's what I can't forgive the most. George Aniki lived his life by recklessly doing his best. He must have approached this day with a grim resolve to marry Shannon, no matter the challenges. That's completely different from me. So I was happy just to be able to meet my cousins after a long time.
But still. Beato. For now, stay silent and listen. Indeed.
In a way, I understand your point. Say you need to continue murdering according to the epitaph for your own resurrection. But considering your circumstances, I can just barely bring myself to understand your murders. Because to you, it's a necessary course of action. But that means all unnecessary actions you take beyond that are due to your meaningless and brutal tastes. In other words, if killing the 6 people for the Twilight was a necessary action for you, then all that show of crushing their faces and splitting their stomachs and stuffing them full of sweets was completely unnecessary. Caused by nothing more than your brutal hobby. It's an aspect of you that I definitely cannot forgive.
Indeed.
You saw Aunt Rosa getting repeatedly killed in that horrible way. She apparently said something like, they're going to be brought back to life in the end anyway. It doesn't matter how they're killed. I heard it from Virgilia.
Well, as to that... Well,
The idea that you kill them as many times as you want, as long as you bring them back to life in the end. Isn't that a completely unnecessary action with no purpose other than to toy around with someone's life? If you're going to kill, do it instantly. Don't toy with them. If you won't kill them, then don't bully them. You're taking advantage of the fact that you can do as you will with people's lives, and you've forgotten the sanctity of life. So I can't accept or acknowledge you. I definitely can't accept as my opponent a person who doesn't know the value of a life, or the sadness felt when lives are lost.
That is why the endless magic is known as a black art. The endless witch has no concept of limitations. She has no concept of the limitations and losses caused by breaking and killing. For that reason, endless witches sometimes start playing by jumping over the gap between life and death, like it's a game. That is a very, very frightening thing. So as an endless witch, and by my own choosing, I never reached your level.
That's why she's the GOAT! That's something Virgilia had been trying to tell Beato for a long time. But Beato had been too young to obediently listen to those words. They'd been too wild. They'd been possessed by the detestable pleasure.
I have been told not to break vases, but that's why I wanted to break them. Then I gained the endless magic, when I knew that I could fix them back to normal, no matter how badly I broke them. I was surprised at how fun it could be to break a vase. That is what's known as the forbidden honey. People are not captivated by what's inside. They're captivated by the sealed lock. It is truly regrettable.
I want to ask you, Virgilia. Why does this thing called the endless magic exist? For what purpose does it exist in this world?
It is not limited to the endless magic. All magic exists to bring happiness to the human world. After everything that has happened, it may be difficult for you to believe, Badler-kun, but in order to bring blessings to the human world, we witches are supposed to become bridges between humans and non-humans, and that is why we train so hard.
How does reviving the dead and torturing them to death over and over again help the human world?
When a vase that has an important memento is broken, if by fixing it everyone will regain their smiles, I would repair it with magic as many times as necessary. However, I would not be fixing it in order to break it again. I would be reviving it to give humans happiness.
In that case, Beato, you fail as an endless witch.
Indeed.
There's this thing I've been really thinking about. Why do I keep playing this strange game against you? Maybe this game isn't about making me surrender. Maybe it's a test for you to be accepted as an endless witch, in the truest sense.
I don't know about that. The reason I proposed this game to you was, simply as a way to kill time. There were no ulterior motives at work.
Just now I heard the definition of a witch from Virgilia. By that definition, you, Beato, are not even a witch. You're an apprentice who's still in training, and who misunderstands her own power. This was supposed to be a fight between a witch and a human. If you aren't a witch, then you aren't qualified to be my opponent. Understand?
You say I am still only an apprentice? Then will I be accepted as your opponent once again? When can we resume this game?
She's on the brink of tears just because Ballard doesn't want to hang out with her. Who knows? At the very least, it isn't now. fully understand what I've said and become a real witch, I'll probably accept you as my opponent in this game once more. Probably.
I can't understand if you say it so abstractly like that. Clearly tell me what I should do to earn your forgiveness.
No. I've said enough. You think about the rest. That's all I want to say. If you can't figure it out, try talking with Virgilia and Renove. Right, like you should start off by listening to what the adults say. Virgilia, suspend the game for now. Now that Renove has stepped down as a representative, all we can do is wait for Beato to gain the qualifications of a proper opponent.
Understood. Until Beato has been acknowledged as having earned those qualifications, the game will proceed without an opponent. Is that alright with you too, Beato? I have no objections. I want time, and a place where I can think at a leisurely pace. May I leave my seat for that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well then, see you later.
She's acting like she got dumped. Wait. Don't make that dejected face.
Sorry about that. Letting everything inside my heart show up on my face is part of my personality. I cannot deceive.
Well, that's a bold-faced lie. But maybe there's still some hope for you. Let me promise you one thing. In this game with you, I might win and I might lose. If you don't come back, it might be my victory by default. At that point, Ballard stopped talking for a second. Then he spoke forcefully. However, I definitely won't be the one to step down. I definitely won't give you a victory by default. I'll keep on waiting here for you to sit there again as my worthy opponent. Batter-sama. Ooh.
Thank you, Battler. I will definitely come back and be accepted by you.
After showing a hopeful smile for a very short while, Beato vanished. After seeing her expression as she left, Ballard was absolutely convinced that her face could tell no lies. I kind of hope that I was hoping we're gonna get like a slice of life type, like fucking interlude with Battler hanging out with all the demons. I was really hoping for that, but no, we're back to the murder mystery. Fucking boring. The 7 survivors returned to the guest house once again. By now, it was clear that those who went outside would not return alive. Rudolph's group had gone out with 2 guns and a master key, but those had been lost. It was already clear that those had been stolen by the culprit. Because the shutters were closed on the windows, they couldn't be opened even if the culprit had a master key. The front and back door that led to the outside were all sealed by chain, and they were further blocked with sofas and tables. Even if the culprit decided to break in through violent means, it wouldn't be easy for them.
At this point, the typhoon may actually be fortunate. If it were clear outside, it might have been possible for them to set fire to the guest house. If there wasn't a typhoon in the first place, the boat would have arrived before noon. That's not much of a silver lining.
Ava-san, how do you feel? Please, try to take it easy.
Thank you. I still feel like I have a fever, but this is no time to complain about that. For the children's sake as well, this is no time to be bedridden.
After crying so much in front of Hideyoshi's corpse, Ava had felt a strong self-awareness of her position as a mother, and her expression conveyed a strong will. In actual fact, her fever still hadn't gone down, and she was aware of that. If she didn't keep a strong hold on herself, she felt as though the fever would make her mind hazy again. By this point, the first floor formed a final line of defense set up by Kraus, Nasui, and Eva. Children and the guests, Nanjo, had been strongly warned not to go downstairs without taking great care. If the culprit used a ladder or something, it probably wouldn't be impossible for them to attack from the second floor. Yeah, I've played Resident Evil 4. I did the fucking holdout in the cabin mission. Ladders can fuck you up.
I've done a little bit of learning about ladder safety.
And I can tell you right now, a witch does not care about OSHA guidelines.
Well, yeah, my point is ladders are scary and must be handled with care.
But it wouldn't be easy for them to break those sturdy shutters from such an insecure position. The second floor was relatively safe compared to the first. Tyler and George had also wanted to remain on the first floor so that they could fight if the worst happened. But Ava had put a stop to that. In her mind, George was now the only member of her family. It seemed that she didn't even want to expose him to the danger of coming downstairs to the first floor. Kraus and Natsui couldn't stand that feeling. Tyler had no one to worry about him, so he's just chilling. Also a great deal...
He's gonna get drunk again.
He's gonna get fucking smashed again. Also, a great deal of time had passed since the siege began. In the second floor cousin's room, Cutler, George, and Jessica sat dazed, and didn't even listen to the TV that had been left on. This 1980s TV is working during a typhoon? Damn! For a while, Banjo had been with them and had tried to lend them words of encouragement. When he realized that he might actually be having the opposite effect, he hid himself in his own room on the second floor. George kept looking dazedly at the photographs inserted in his notebook from the time he'd taken a vacation to Okinawa with Shannon. Shannon's happy smile was contained in those photos. George could remember the temperature and the humidity, the warmth and the strength of the wind, and even what he had been talking about with her at the time those photos had been taken, as clearly as though it had been yesterday. So to George, they weren't simply photos, or a door to bring back warm memories. In this room, even though the sound of the typhoon and the TV should have entered George's hearing, it was the senior year of Okinawa he had seen with her, and her laughing voice had reached his eyes and his ears. God, I can't talk. George had strived to be reborn after meeting Shannon. He had sworn to separate himself from the timid person he had once been, easily caught up in the atmosphere, unable to refuse a request, and easily used by those around him. He resolved himself to become a strong man who could make his life more joyous. Therefore, if he hadn't met Shannon, a man called Uchiromiya George would probably have lived a very different life. And the George of that different life surely wouldn't have been as excellent a man as he is now. The person I am now exists for Shannon's sake. Now that Shannon is gone, why do I exist? It's completely meaningless, isn't it? He felt a deep, deep sadness, as though he himself had become empty. That feeling must have been tormenting him this whole time. However, when Battler mentioned it, he had been aware of the feeling himself. He finally managed to remember that it should have been all right for him to cry much, much more. So he cried. Just like Battler had. He cried himself dry. By now, his eyes were bright red and swollen, and he couldn't cry anymore. But George did his best to change his way of thinking. His life, it was not meaningless now, and he should be grateful to Shannon for giving him such a character. He had no comeback to life. He would have to get over being separated from his most beloved person. If he were to chase after Shannon and kill himself, he would surely be deeply dejected. It worked the other way around too. If he had died and Shannon had chased after him, throwing away her own life, he wouldn't have been able to forgive himself. So he chose to suppress his sadness and anger, and decided to thank her instead. After meeting Shannon, he made his days rich and full, and taught him the meaning of working hard for other people's sake. As a result, he had shaped him into the kind person he had wanted to be. He wanted to thank her for that. He tried to quell his sadness in this way, but each time he did, he remembered Shannon's smile. He understood it logically. He knew that grieving any more than this would only make her grieve in heaven. But that didn't bring a stop to his sadness. He knew that logically? Alright! Why is it that when people die, it's so sad like this? Shit, man, I don't know. Maybe it's a human reaction. What the fuck do you mean? Eller muttered, as though he was speaking on behalf of all humans. His question probably hadn't been directed at anyone, but Jessica answered. It's always sad when you have to say goodbye. But when the person's old or there's some time, you know beforehand that it's coming sooner or later, that sadness gets spread out over a long period of time. When misfortune comes suddenly, it's sad because you don't even get that time. I see. So they get sick or something and end up bedridden in a hospital, you might be able to ready yourself for it bit by bit. And when it happens suddenly someday, you don't get that luxury. The sadness that's usually spread out over several years closes in on you all at once. That's what's tough. Sometimes it makes you feel sadness so deep it can leave scars for life. Scars for life, huh?
So the point is, just start grieving as soon as possible.
Don't live in the moment. Think about when this person is going to die and feel sad about it.
Do normal people not do that?
I tried to avoid it.
Yeah, fair. It's probably a good idea.
My grandfather's a cult hobby. Wait, shit. My grandfather's a cult hobby? People say that's what caused it. That Beatrice, his mistress, died a long time ago, and he was so sad that he couldn't put himself together. Some people whisper that this is why he started sacrificing the rest of his life to occult research in order to revive the dead. That's true. Grandfather succeeded in that miracle in his last moments. The goal was to revive Beatrice, and grandfather was reunited with her at the moment he was killed. Pretty ironic that he revived her and then got killed by her. Even so, grandfather probably managed to meet her. He gambled half of his life, and even though it was only for a short time, he was reunited with the woman he wished to see once again. And he got totally roasted, though. Feels like that result doesn't quite add up to the cost of researching for half his life. That's not true. Even if it was only for an instant, grandfather must have been happy to be reunited with the woman he loved. That would be true. Even if his crime of going against divine providence was punished by God, his body was burnt and sent down to hell. Even if that reunion only lasted a very short time, right? God, why are we... okay? Lord Nisa. I didn't care. I met with the wrath of God and had my body burned. Even if it was just for a short amount of time. If I could revive Shane again, I would sacrifice the rest of my life to the same research as grandfather. I want to talk to Shane again. Even if it's only for 5 minutes. Even 1 minute would be fine. In exchange, I wouldn't mind sacrificing the rest of my life. Honey, when Battler and Jessica realized that their pointless discussion was causing George pain, they could do nothing more than shut their mouths. George directed his thoughts to Kinso's life. He sacrificed half his life to research that no one understood. And on the last day of his life, he revived the person he loved most. probably succeeded in his reunion in his final moments. George didn't know how much time they had together. He didn't know if they'd been given an hour or just 5 minutes. However, that moment must have been enough to reward him for all those months of research. Even though he spent dozens of years to achieve it, that small amount of time was probably more than worth it to him. Till today, I never believed in the occult or magic or anything. Somewhere in my heart, I even made fun of Grandfather's research, thinking of it nothing more than a pastime. However, I won't make fun of it anymore. No, to the contrary. I believe strongly that it's real. But the power of belief can create miracles. Probably throw away all of my studies up until today. Spend the rest of my life from today onward studying magic. It hands to Meta Battler, and he's like, "This is not me forfeiting." Don't get the wrong idea. Give me the power of magic.
I was just gonna make a joke about him losing.
Give me a miracle that'll help me see Shannon again. Sorry, you two. What am I talking about? If you revive the dead with magic, we'll probably be researching it everywhere around the world. Things like that don't exist in reality. No one researches it. That's because the dead can't be revived with magic. You were just talking about how your grandfather was researching how to revive the dead with magic. Sorry for saying something so weird. My fault that the atmosphere here has gotten so strange. Sorry for making you tiptoe around me, even though this is tough for us all. Even if I did it to divert myself from my sadness, maybe I did say something strange. I keep talking about stuff that's so weird, I'm sure it won't do anything good for their sadness. But that doesn't mean I can't bear the silence. I'll go downstairs and get another cup of coffee. Mom's very particular about how she likes hers. Does anyone else want a refill? The fucking change in the sprite. Battler-kun and Jessica-chan lightly shook their heads. Without pressing them any further, I took my mug and left the room. I tripped and fell down the stairs and landed directly onto a steak. Damn it!
For some reason, I thought steak as in, like, the food.
Man, delicious! What luck! The shutters were all closed in the hallway, so the corridor was very dim. I tried visiting Dr. Nanja's room and asking if he wanted more coffee, but he said he didn't need any either. It seems my mother's orthodox method of making coffee isn't universally appreciated. One time I made some for Shannon, but she told me that while it was delicious, it was a little strong. Turns out, not everyone likes a mix between coffee and straight vodka. Shannon! It's no good. Even though I left the room to change my mood, that image of Shannon's face filling my head hasn't faded in the slightest. I keep seeing those fun days with her more and more vividly, and it's saddening that I never even got the chance to see her dead face. Oh fuck. According to our parents, she was apparently killed with something like a gun or a spear. I'm sure they were just trying to console me, but they had said her dead face had been very beautiful and peaceful. I wonder if she had the engagement ring I gave her last night on her finger. If she accepted my engagement, she should have had it on the ring on finger on her left hand. Last night, we were both on the edge of losing it and not calm at all. Shannon accepted my engagement pretty courageously, but she might have regretted that as a rash action once she pulled her head. She might have taken the ring off. I wonder if she has the ring on now. Yeah, okay. He's going to his desk. Oh, desk, alright. I want to be sure of at least that much. I want to know how she felt at the very end. But even if I do confirm that, it doesn't mean she'll come back. I wonder what will happen to her body. After the autopsy, she'll probably be immediately cremated. Then, I'll never be able to see her face. even her dead face, for all eternity. It's a shock of losing Shannon. Made me go a little crazy. I don't want her body to be burned. If she's burned and turned to ash, never again will it be possible for her to revive. They say cremation is frowned upon in Western tradition. No, it's not. What the fuck? Who says that? Who fucking says that? What?
I don't know.
Because on the day of resurrection there will be no body to revive? The fuck you mean on the day of resurrection? What kind of... Did I miss something about Christianity? I don't think there's a day of resurrection. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think we missed something.
Because of that, it seems that great criminals in Western history were often cremated after execution as a punishment. And their ashes were sometimes scattered in rivers and stuff. What the fuck? Says who? No, I didn't. What? In other words, to Western people, death is nothing more than a sleep until the resurrection. What Western people are you talking about? Fucking huh?
You're so right.
What the fuck? It is
That
essential.
was really strange.
It's essential that the corpse is left after death. I mean, maybe George has gone crazy, because what the fuck is he on about? In other words, that's because Western people knew of a miracle that could revive the dead.
No way.
Because that miracle doesn't exist in Japan, we burned them. Shit, did I? Okay, good. I think I'm pretty sure. Okay, I got the right screenshot. Oh, fuck.
That's crazy.
Now I understand. I understand
This
that
conspiracy theory just dropped.
I understand my grandfather idolized the Western occult. That was his only reason from the very beginning. Just to revive people dear to him, grandfather spent the rest of his remaining life researching the Western occult. The situation surrounding us now is abnormal. Grandfather did revive his beloved Beatrice, and that Beatrice has carried out a terrible serial murder, with linked closed rooms that force us to conclude that magic was used. The Golden Witch Beatrice, the incarnation of the miracle of the Western occult, and also the culprit who killed Shannon. She's an entity I should hate, and yet, for some reason, I want to cling to her. I wonder if Shannon could be revived with the magic of miracles which grandfather had bet his life on. According to the legend of the Ushinomiya family, grandfather met her long ago and was given a vast quantity of gold. And if I also met with her, instead of gold, would you give me Shannon's life? As collateral, I don't care what sort of those contracts she imposed. I wouldn't mind sacrificing all of my remaining life. George finally couldn't believe or realize that his voiceless wish oh fuck! Oh no! Was heard by the witch herself who stood right behind them. Beatrice had been listening to that entire discussion between the children just now in the cousin's room. Father had told her that she didn't know the value of a human's life, and wanting to understand that in her own way, she had stealthily visited, listening in on the discussion.
That is your wish, you say? If I could grant that, would I be accepted as a witch?
Is she gonna disrupt the entire fucking ceremony just to get Battler to like her again? Rachel looked at the palms of both her hands. She had handed over most of her once surging magical power with the new witch when the new witch succeeded the name of the Endless Witch. Of course, her current power still made her unworthy of being called a... Of course, her current power still made her worthy of being called a witch. I can't talk. I cannot begin to compare to her previous strength. Is she gonna bring back Shannon and is gonna be like a fucking... like, It's gonna be like they came back. It's gonna be like a fucking Pet Cemetery type thing. The flesh is living, but the soul is spoiled. Like,
Is that what they say in Pet Cemetery?
I can't remember if they say it in Pet Cemetery, but they definitely say it in the Ice Nine Kills song about Pet Cemetery.
That's a crazy lyric. That goes crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a baller lyric. It has to be. I can't remember. I haven't read the book in forever. And I can't remember. And I also haven't watched either of the movies in a while. So I can't remember if it was like an actual line in the movie.
Even without the endless magic, I am a great witch whose name has been thundered for 1,000 years. Reviving the dead will be no trouble at all.
Inside her head, she thought about several magical steps she could take to revive the dead. Even magic that should have been easy in the past would be difficult with her current power. She thought of something, then clicked her tongue, and did so again, over and over. In the end, she finally thought of a single spell. But that was a spell she couldn't use by herself. It was a spell that witches with weak power used, one that relied on the aid of others. In the past, Potato had looked down upon that type of magic. Therefore, she frantically tried to search for any conceivable alternative. But in the end, she couldn't think of one, slumped over in self-derision. She goes up to Virgilia. Teacher, can you help me revive the dead? What? Then, careful not to surprise him, she softly called out. Softly, the gorgeous heart.
Shiromiya George, can you hear my voice?
I can hear you. Who are you? Are you really the witch Beatrice? Or are you an illusion created by my sorrow? If it's the former, please hear my wish. And if it's the latter, just leave me alone. Their conversation in a mental world was a lot like having one in a dream. When you dream, have you ever had the experience of casually accepting something that would have been absurd in the real world? The conversation in this world was like that. Even though a witch appeared and started talking to George, he was not surprised.
Indeed. I am Golden Witch Beatrice. Normally, you and I would not be able to talk together in this manner. However, you are strongly conscious of me and wish to have a discussion. So both of our channels are able to match like this.
I don't care if the person who built Shannon was you, or someone else using your name. Oh no, that one was me. The later deaths were someone else using my name. As long as you exist as a real witch, I'll pay whatever cost you ask for. You desire my life, take it right now. Please, I want you to bring Shannon back to life. That's impossible. I'd be satisfied if you just let me talk to her for a short while. Please.
I ask for nothing in return. I shall grant that wish.
Really? Really? Revive Shannon?
Indeed. However, my current magical power is not sufficient to use the magic of resurrection. Therefore, I must rely on your help.
If there's anything I can do, I'll do it. Even if that means taking my heart out right here and now, I will not hesitate. Whoa, fucking chill.
I told you, I don't need anything like that. I will chant the magic. Then, a gap will open in the door to the land of the dead. But as I am now, I do not have the power to bring Shannon's soul up through that gap. However, you have strong feelings for Shannon. And those feelings will surely become magic that can bring her soul out without fail. What do you say? Will you help me?
I will. Shannon's life will be restored. There's nothing I'm afraid to lose. George's fist shook in silence. Then he slowly came to his senses. He had been absent-mindedly standing near the window in the hall that whole time, his mug still in his hand. And the witch from his dream, still there. What the fuck? Isn't a dream.
Be quiet. I'm very fragile now. If any more humans appear, I will not be able to preserve this form. I shall grant your wish, so stay silent for now. Understand?
George covered his mouth with his hands, nodding enthusiastically several times. In that instant, he almost dropped the mug he was holding. Oh, fuck! George frantically juggled around and caught it. He was afraid that if it fell to the floor and made a loud sound, the witch's form might disappear like a bubble popping. He softly set the mug on the floor and stared at the witch in front of him again. The form didn't disappear. It wasn't her dream.
Come, let us go to the parlor where Shannon sleeps. With the power of your feelings, we will bring back her soul.
You say go, but how? My mother and the rest are downstairs. There's no way they let us go outside. Can you just say that you wouldn't be able to preserve your form if another human appeared?
Sorry.
Joe.
Come to think of it, it's true. So Kraus and the rest are downstairs.
Alright.
In that case, we definitely cannot go down. Well then, we just need to go to the mansion without going down to the first floor, right? It's simple.
Oh, are you gonna use some, teleportation magic or something? What? No, we're just gonna open that window and climb down. Beata laughed as though she had thought of a pleasant prank. And with her golden pipe, she lightly tapped the window with its shutter closed. When she did, 3 gold butterflies appeared from the pipe and opened the lock on the window, as though melting it. Then, the window opened without a sound. The shutter beyond it was exactly the same. The clasp unset itself, also without making a sound, and quietly opened. The window opened, exposing the wind and rain outside the mansion. Perhaps because of the direction or something related to the construction of the building, the wind did not blow inside. For that, for a while, George just felt as though this entrance that opened to the outside was a dream or an illusion, and he couldn't accept it as real.
Come, let us go. Come with me.
They go gently floating upwards. It was a natural action, like that of a diver enjoying an underwater stroll. It made it easy to believe that if you acted like she did, you too might be able to float in the sky just as though you were swimming through water. No, George did believe that. So, without thinking, she said she had done. He also, gently, as though swimming in water itself, lifted his feet and fell out the window and died.
Not bad. So you learned how to dance in the sky faster than I could explain it.
George was shocked to find himself floating in midair like he was swimming. Of course, Beato was also shocked that George, who shouldn't have been able to use magic, and figured out how to do that just by instinct. Be able to fly in the air, swim in the air.
You mustn't be bound by reason. Accept it as a natural thing. You mustn't fall back to your human doctrines, such as those of Newton and Einstein.
I imagine, Hal Battler is... Sorry, oh my god. How Meta Battler is, like, being able to view the game board. It's like a little TV in the tea room, and, like, he's currently, like, looking away, like, sipping some tea that Ronove brought for him, and He like glances over and sees, like, he glances over and then does a double take, seeing fucking George floating through the air, and Beatrice right next to him, and he's like, "What the fuck is she doing?"
Especially when flying high in the sky. An experience which is sometimes plummet to the earth.
I accept things for what they appear to be. Accept things for what they appear to be. George repeated those words over and over. You must not deny magic, no matter what. Denying that would be like throwing away what might be his first and last chance to revive Shannon. Also, his chance to live because he's flying in the fucking air. However, compared to Beato, who was elegantly drifting like smoke, George's movements clearly resembled someone underwater. Therefore, if he didn't act like he was kicking his feet in water every once in a while, he'd be caught by the force of gravity bit by bit.
I must say you're doing better than when I first danced through the sky. Here we go. Come with me.
When Beato beckoned to George, she gently flew into the stormy sky. It was just like a scene from his fairy tale. The scene unfolding before George's eyes felt entirely like an extension of his dream. Being able to fly is incredible, but so is the wind and the rain.
What's this? Are the wind and rain tormenting you? I could teach you magic to block against that. But it may be too early for you. And it may be a misuse of time right now.
Yes, the magic I need is that. George wore a strong-willed gaze, refusing to let the wind and rain get to him.
The mansion is coming into sight. Hold out just a little longer. If you fall now, you'll hit the bushes in the rose garden.
The undulating rose garden was spread beneath the witching George's gaze. This illusion-like scene no longer surprised George. Only the gradually approaching mansion was reflected in his eyes. Shannon, wait for me. I will definitely revive you. Well! At that time, the cruel new witch could be seen staring at the guest house from a different location.
Now, all that's left is the 7th and 8th twilights. Just 2 more and my obligation to that old hag predecessor is finished. I'll kill Kraus and Natsuhi. Let them die together like the old couple they are. Like the good couple they are.
Oh fuck, which one's 410? Am I 410?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot the voice I was doing for her, so I'm gonna change it. Should I do bad acting voice or stereotypical YouTuber voice?
I don't know.
I think bad actor voice will work better. Just because I can't think of really how to do the inflection for stereotypical YouTuber voice. Where's the target? Yeah. I might change it though. Who knows?
In the lobby on the first floor of the penthouse of the guest house, 2 targets and Ushiromiya Eva identified. Measuring anti-magic power levels. Data link to 410.
Here, let's... 410, data received. Anti-magic power levels are extremely low. If Ava just goes outside, they're tuna and abalone on a chopping board. Find out next, and subscribe and hit that bell.
Oh, that's crazy.
Is that a good voice for her, you think?
Good? No, like it's no, you did a good, it's a good voice, but like good for her.
I just really love your, like, good? Oh, fuck. We'll workshop it a bit more then.
What do you think? Great Lady Backstage, when you give the order, we shall snipe right away. Please, your orders.
Ooh, or is 410, like, really cocky?
A little bit.
Alright, I think I have an idea for a voice.
You guys really are convenient furniture. Not at all like that old secondhand furniture that's only useful for gouging corpses. Right?
What the fuck?
Chester sisters, please show me your skill once more. Prepare to fire. And carry out the corpses again, got it? Because I'll play with them a lot. No complaints from you, right, Renove?
Correct. As you command. He looks like he wants to strangle her.
Hmm.
At that moment, the witch had noticed something. It was as though some presence had disappeared. Was it her imagination?
Was that someone's presence just now? Did anyone feel it? My apologies. I haven't noticed anything, so please forgive me.
We're in the middle of observing the guest house, so our peripheral surveillance was set to off. How's that?
I don't know, but I think it kind of works.
What about you, Lucer-chan? Did you feel any presence? For just an instant, Lucifer glanced at Renove, asking whether she should answer honestly or not. Renove gave a small nod in response. No, my apologies, Beatrice-sama. We noticed nothing. Forgive us the stupidity of this. Forgive us the stupidity of us second-hand furniture.
I see. If a great demon like you says that, then it must have been my imagination.
The witch persistently stared in the direction the present had disappeared to. That was where the rose garden lay. And beyond that, she could see the mantis' dark silhouette created by lightning. It took quite some time before she pushed her unsatisfied feelings aside. And once again, faced the guest house. Alright. Should we end it there?
Sure.
Let me say, come on. Alright, there we go. System save. Alright, there we go. Awesome. Alright. That was a nice little episode. It's great to be back. I missed Umineko.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry you had to hear 3 separate voices for one character because I still haven't decided what voice to give her. I hope you'll join us next time. Bye for now.
Bye.